use spline modeling to create these fenders on our front forks here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this, and let's start out by creating our fenders using the line tool. So we're going to go to shapes, and we're going to use line, and let's go ahead and trace this fender out here. And I just want to trace out this front part here. So let's go ahead and just roughly trace this out. And I'm not really being too careful about this, because I can edit these lines after I'm finished. So let's go ahead and right click to end that line drawing process. And let me go ahead and change the color of this so we can see this just a little bit easier. And let's go to our vertex mode. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and select them and convert them to Bezier corner. And let's go ahead and adjust the handles to adjust our curves. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our move tool, make sure that this is turned on. And we want to make sure that our X and Y is constrained, so we'll just click on this box on our move tool. And I'm going to hit X to make sure that I don't select a new direction. So let's go ahead and curve this out. And let's go ahead and pull this in here. And continue to go around. Alright, so we've got this matched up pretty well. Let's go ahead and actually, let me hit undo. Let me select this one vertex, just kind of move it back just a little bit. Just want to give myself a little bit of room. And I'm going to move these right to about here. Okay. Alright, now what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and edit this line, because I've got these really sharp corners right here, and I'm going to use a tool called fillet. So let's select this vertex, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and I should see fillet. Here it is right here. And we're going to go ahead and just click on that to activate that fillet tool. And let's click and drag on this vertex, and you'll see that it splits the one vertex into two. So now I can go ahead and select these vertices. Let me hit X so I can actually access my move tool a little bit easier. And I'm just going to move these verts around. There we go. Just pull this back just a little bit. Now, whenever we're working, we don't want really sharp edges like that. So that's why I wanted to split that into two. So we're going to do the same thing, activate fillet, and drag this up a little bit. And I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and turn off fillet. And let's go ahead and refine this spline cage. Now remember, we're going to be using our surface modifier just like we did with our frame, and we have to make sure that this is made up of quads. So right now this is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides here. We've got 8 vertices, so this is an 8-sided polygon. So let's go ahead and grab our refine tool, and I think I may have passed it up. There it is. And we want to do connect and linear, and let's just click on refine. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these vertices. So I'm going to click on this one, and it's going to bring up that dialog box again. We just hit do not show this message again and do connect only. And let's click on the next one and right click, and that'll create that line. So let's do this one more time, and instead of using the refine over here, I'm going to choose just to use a different way. And I'm going to use refine connect. It's the exact same thing as this tool whenever connect is checked here. So we want to use refine connect. So let's click on this vertex and this one. And now we have this geometry ready to go for our surface. So let's go ahead and give this a little bit of depth. So we're going to switch over to our perspective view. And let's rotate or orbit around our object. And what I want to do is actually select this line right here, this line of vertices. So we're going to do a marquee selection, hold down control and do a marquee selection around these. And we're going to move these in the Y direction. And let's go ahead and actually switch to our left view. Just hit L on the keyboard, or you can click on perspective and go to left. And I want to make sure that my fender isn't exactly, the same width. I want to make it a little bit inside of here. Okay, so let's switch back to our perspective, and let's go ahead and refine some of these lines a little bit. I've got a really sharp corner right here, So I just want to round this out just a little bit. So I'm going to go to my Y direction and pull this handle to the right, and then also pull it down in my Z, because I really want this to be nice and round. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the same thing to these, and we're going to actually right click and convert this to a Bezier corner, because these were new vertices that we just created. So in our Y, we're going to pull this out and do the same thing to this one. Right click, convert to Bezier corner, and we're going to select this one and pull it out in the X direction, and the same thing to this one. Right click, Bezier corner, pull this out just to round it out nice and neat, and right click, Bezier corner, and pull this one out in the Y. Okay, so that looks really nice there. And what we're going to do now is go ahead and mirror this line, this spline cage here. So let's turn off vertex mode, and we're going to go to mirror, and we've got our Y, and we have an instance here just in case. Let's go ahead and make this a copy for right now, and let's hit OK. So what we need to do now is go ahead and weld this center line here. So let's go to our vertex mode, and we're on vertex, so let's go ahead and weld. So let's select this middle line. Now before we can do that, we actually have to attach this spline cage to this one so we can actually access the vertices of both sides. So let's actually turn off vertex mode and use attach, and attach that spline there. Okay, now let's go ahead and weld those vertices together. So let's go to vertex mode and select the center line of vertices, and we're just going to use weld. So here's our weld, and now let's apply that surface modifier. Okay, there we go. So now we've got this nice neat little shape here. It's very, very smooth. And what we need to do now is go ahead and actually gap or bridge this gap here. So we can do this by using our refine tool. So let's go to vertex mode. Just like we did with this gap here, we're going to use refine and connect. And let's find our tool here. I think I passed it. There it is. So we're going to check connect and do linear. And we're going to use the refine tool. Now I want to also go ahead and hit this show end result so I can see my surface at work here. So I'm going to click on this vertex and go to the next one and right click. And let's just keep going through this. So we're going to right click, refine connect, and right click. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish this up. So I'm going to finish this up, and we're going to end the lesson here. So in the next lesson, we're going to begin working on the rest of our